Hello, welcome to my Genius Hub. My name is Ismail Rowan Abiodun. In this video, I'll be explaining how to express numbers in standard form. That is, how to express both large numbers and small numbers in standard form. So what is standard form? Standard form involves writing any given number as a number between 1 and 10 multiplied by an integer power of 10. That is, when you are expressing numbers in standard form, the number must be expressed in this format. That is, a times 10 raised power of n, where a is greater than 1 or equals to 1, that is 1 less than or a can be equals to 1 and a is less than 10. That is, a can take the value between 1 and 10. A can take 1 to 9 but not 10. A must be less than 10. It must be less than, that is 1 to 9. So when you have the value of a being a number between 1 and 10 and multiplied by 10 raised power of an integer, and the value of n can be a positive or negative number depending on whether it is large number or small number. That is, depending on whether it is number greater than 1 or number greater than or equals to 1 or number less than 1. So a number is displayed can be displayed on computer when in standard form if that number is too large or too small to displayed on the screen. Okay, you have seen this but you didn't notice. So let's take a look at these examples. Let's see, how can we express numbers greater than 1 or equals to 1 in standard form? Consider the following. How do we express 1 in standard form? Remember, in indices, anything raised to power of 0, we said it is equal to 1, isn't it? Anything raised to power of 0 is 1. Remember that when we are I told you earlier that when you are expressing numbers in standard form, it must be expressed as a times 10 raised power of n, where a takes number between 1 and 10. If you look at this, 1 can be written as 1 times 10 raised power of 0. Remember, 10 raised power of 0 is 1, then multiply by 1. So 1 times 1 is still equals to 1. So in this case, the value of a is 1, then multiply by power of 10. So we have expressed 1 as in standard form. So let's look at this. 10. Let's express 10 in standard form. So 10 can be expressed as 1 times 10. And remember, this 10 is the same thing as 10 raised to the power of 1. I told you when we were treating indices that a is equal to a raised to the power of 1. But since it is a multiplied by itself in just one place, you don't need to put the power. So 10 raised to the power of 1 is the same thing as 10. So 1 times 10. So the power of 10 here is 1. We have expressed 10 as in standard form. Okay, let's take for example 100. How do we express 100 in standard form? 100 will be equal to 1 times 100. But remember, 100 is the same thing as 10 times 10, isn't it? So that will be what? 1 times 10 raised to the power of 2. When you multiply 10 by 10, is the same thing as 10 raised to the power of 2 when you express it in index form, isn't it? That is 10 multiplied by itself in 2 places, isn't it? So in 100 can be expressed in standard form to be equal to what? 1 times 10 raised to the power of 2, isn't it? The same way, the value of a is 1, then times 10 raised to the power of 2. Remember, a must take a value between 1 and 10. So this is 100,000. How do you express, 1 million rather. This is 1 million. So how do you express 1 million in standard form? That will be 1 times 1 million. And 1 million is the same thing as 10 raised to the power of 6. So that will be 1 times 10 raised to the power of 6. The same thing, a takes the value of 1, then multiply by power of 10. 1 billion is the same thing as 10 raised to the power of 9. So that will be 1 times 10 raised to the power of 9. So if you look at all these formats, I can give you a straightforward method to simply express numbers greater than 1 in standard form. Now, when you have 1 is the same thing as 1.0, isn't it? 10 is the same thing as 10.0. Please take note. 100 is the same thing as 100.0. Now, if you now want to express 10 in standard form, remember the value of A must take a number between 1 and 10, and we want to express 10 in standard form. All you need to do is to change the position of this decimal point to a point where you are going to have a value between 1 and 10. That is, that value must be less than 10. It cannot be up to 10. It can take value between 1 and 9, but must be less than 10. So this decimal point, we must shift it to a position where we are going to have a value less than 10, but can be equals to 1, but not less than 1, isn't it? So if you want to get a value between 1 and 10, we must shift the point from this position once to this position. So that will be 1.0. So 1.0, remember I told you is equals to 1. So if you have 1, we have already gotten our value of A, which is what? 1. So we have 1, then times 10. Remember, the power of 10 will not depend on the number of times you shifted the point to the left. Remember, we shifted the point to the left, isn't it? So how many times do we shift the point to the left? Once. So that will be 1 times 10 raised to the power of 1. So 10 raised to the power of 1 is the same thing as 10. So let's go to 100. How do we express 100 in standard form using shifting of points method? Remember, this is 100. 100 is the same thing as 100.0. So to get the value of A, we must shift the point to a position where we are going to have a value between 1 and 10. So if you shift the point from here to this place, how many times are you going to shift the point? 1, 2. So we are going to have 1.0, isn't it? So the value of A is still equal to 1. So that will be 1 times 10. So the power of 10 will not depend on the number of times we shifted the point to the left. So how many times do we shift the point to the left? 1, 2. So that will be 10 raised to the power of 2. So 100 expressed in standard form equals to 1 times 10 raised to the power of 2. So let's try that with 1 million. 1 million is the same thing as 1 million 0.0. So if you are expressing 1 million in standard form, we must shift the point from this position to a position where you are going to have the value of A to be a number between 1 and 10, isn't it? So if you shift the point from here to the left to get a number between 1 and 10, so we are going to shift the point 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me take that again. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if you do that, that will be 1.0. So the value of A equals to 1, isn't it? Then times 10. So the power of 10 will not depend on the number of times you shifted the point to the left. So how many times do we shift the point to the left? 6 times. So that will be 1 times 10 raised to the power of 6. So you can use that same method to express 1 billion in standard form to give us 1 times 10 raised to the power of 9. If you do that, you are going to shift the point to the left 9 times to get a value of a number between 1 and 10. So let's use that method to solve some examples, that is to express some numbers in standard form. So these are some of the examples we are going to solve. 94. How do we express 94 in standard form? Remember, 94 is the same thing as 94.0. So where are you going to we are going to get a value of A to be a number between 1 and 10, isn't it? Okay, let's try that. If you want to get a value of A that is a number between 1 and 10, where are we going to shift the point to? You are going to shift the point from this position to the middle of 9 and 4. So that will give us 9.4. If you look at 9.4, it falls between 1 and 10, isn't it? It's less than 10. 9.4 is less than 10. So the value of A will be 9.4. So let's write that down. The value of A is 9.4. 9.4. Then times 10. How many times do we shift the point to the left to get 9.4? How many times? We shifted the point once, isn't it? We only shifted the point once. 1. So to get 9.4, we shifted the point once. So that will be 10 raised power of 1. So that will be 9.4 times 10. So we have expressed 9.94 in standard form, which gives us 9.4 times 10. So let's express 3,734 in standard form. The same way, we are going to shift the point from where it is to a position whereby we are going to have a number between 1 and 10, isn't it? Okay? Excuse me? Okay, like I said, we are shifting the point from where it is to a position whereby we are going to have a number between 1 and 10. The point is at the back of 4 here. So we are going to shift it to this position, that is the between 3 and 7, to get a number between 1 and 10. If you shift that point, so that will be 3.734. Then multiply by 10. Now the power of 10 will now depends on how many times we shifted the point to that position. So from here, we are going to shift the point how many times? 1, 2, 3. 3 times. So that will be 10 raised power of 3. So 3,734 expressed in standard form will give us 3.734 times 10 raised power of 3. So the same way, to express this in standard form, the point is here, isn't it? Originally the point is here. To get a number between 1 and 10, we are going to shift the point to this place to get 9.025345. So that will be 9.025345, isn't it? Then multiply by 10. So the power of 10 will depend on the number of times you shifted the point to the left. So from here, let's shift the point to that position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. So that will be 10 raised power of 6. So this one, we don't need to shift the point to any position because we already have a number between 1 and 10. So that will be 6 times 10. Remember, we have 6. What power of 10 will give us a number in such that when you multiply that number by 6, it should give us 6. Remember, what can you multiply by 6 to give us 6? That will be 1. So what power of 10 will give us 1? That will be 10 raised power of 0. Remember, anything raised power of 0 is 1. So 6 times 1 is 0. So we have 6 in standard form. That will be 6 times 10 raised power of 0. So lastly, to get a number between 1 and 10, you are going to shift the point to this position that is between 1 and 3. So that will give us 1.306353424 times 10. So what is our power of 10? How many times do we shift the point? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the power of 10 is 9. Please take notes. When you are expressing numbers greater than 1 in standard form, you are going to shift the point to the left to get a number between 1 and 10. That is the value of A. So once you get the value of a, then multiply it by 10, then the power of 10 will now be depends on the number of times you shifted the point to the left. So that would give you the power of 10. So the next thing we are going to look at is how to express numbers less than 1 in standard form. How do we express numbers less than 1 in standard form? Let's consider the following. 0.1. 0.1 is the same thing as 1 divided by 10, isn't it? And 1 divided by 10 is the same thing as 1 times 1 over 10. But remember, when we were treating indices, I told you that 1 divided by a base can be expressed as negative power of the base, isn't it? So 1 over 10 is the same thing as 10 raised to the power of minus 1. Please, if you have not seen my video on how to express numbers in index form, the description is in this the link is in the description of this video, so try and see the videos. Okay, so let's continue. So that will be 1 times 10 raised to the power of minus 1, because 1 over 10 is the same thing as 10 raised to the power of minus 1. Okay, the same way 0.01 is the same thing as 1 divided by 100, which equals to 1 times 1 over 100. 1 over 100 is the same thing as 10 raised to 1 over 10 raised to the power of 2. Remember, 100 is the same thing as 10 times 10, and 10 times 10 is equal to 10 raised to the power of 2. So we have 1 times 1 over 10 raised to the power of 2. Then 1 over 10 raised to the power of 2, expressing it in a negative index. So that will be 10 to the power of minus 2. So we have 1 times 10 raised to the power of minus 2. So 0.001 expressed in standard form can also be equal to 1 times 1 over 10,000, which equals to 1 times 1 over 10,000. So 10,000 is the same thing as 10 raised to the power of 4, isn't it? So that will give us 1 times 1 over 10 raised to the power of 4. So 10 raised to the power of 4 expressed in negative index is the same thing as 10 raised to the power of minus 4. Anything when you have 1 over a, 1 over a is the same thing as 10 raised to the power of minus 1. 1 over a raised to the power of 2 is the same thing as a raised to the power of 1 over a raised to the power of 2 is the same thing as a raised to the power of minus 2. 1 all over a raised to the power of 3 is the same thing as a raised to the power of minus 3. Please, that's how to express this in negative index. So that will give us for 0.001 is the same thing as 1 times 10 raised to the power of minus 4. Now you will take note of something. Remember, to write numbers in standard form, it must be in this format: 8 times 10 raised to the power of n. Just like we did when we are expressing numbers greater than or equals to 1 in standard form, we shifted the point to the left. In this case, when you are expressing numbers less than 1 in standard form, you are going to shift the point to the right. So the power of 10 will be negative. Please, when you are expressing numbers less than 1 in index form, the power of 10 will be negative. The negative power will now depends on the number of times you shifted the point to the right. Let's take for example, in this one, to get in 0.1, to get a number in 0.1, to get a number between 1 and 10, you shift the point to the right to get 1, isn't it? How many times do we shift the point to the right? That will be 1. So 0.1 will now be what? 1 times 10. The power of 10 will now be negative. How many times do we shift the point to the right? Once. So that will be minus 1. So let's try that with 0.012. So to get a number between 1 and 10, that is the value of a, you must shift the point to the right to this place, isn't it? How many times? 1, 2. So that will be 1 times 10 raised to the power of minus 2, because you shifted the point twice. So that will give us minus 2. So 0.0001 expressed in standard form will be what? When you shifted the point to the right to get a number between 1 and 10, you are going to shift the point to the right how many times? 1, 2, 3. 3 times. So that will be 1. Sorry. Okay, sorry. This is raised power of minus 3. Please, that was a mistake. This is raised power of minus 3. Okay. Okay, let me correct that. This is raised power of minus 3. This is also raised power of 3. Okay. Okay, that's correct now. So that minus 3. How many times do we shift the point to the right? We shifted the point to the right 3 times, isn't it? So that will be 1 times 10 raised power of minus 3. So let's use that format to express numbers less than 1 in standard form. The first one is 0.04. How do we express 0.04 in standard form? First thing, it is a number less than 1. And I told you, to express any number in standard form, it must be in this format: a times 10 raised power of n. Now, to get the value of a, in this case, the point is here, we must shift the point to the right, here, to this place, to get a number between 1 and 10. So, if we shift the point to this place, we have 4 times 10. Now, the power of 10 will now depends on the number of times you shifted the point to the right. And I told you, when you are converting numbers less than 1 to standard form, the power of 10 will be negative. So how many times are we going to shift the point to the right? We have 1, 2. So that will be negative 2. So the power of 10 is 2. So that will be 4 times 10 raised power minus 2. So that will be 0.04 in standard form. So the same way, 0.1542 in standard form, let's get the value of a first, which is a number between 1 and 10. So where are we going to shift the point to? From here to this position, that is between 1 and 5. So that will give us 1.1.542 times 10. So the power of 10 will be negative, remember? Then how many times do we need to shift the point? 1. So that will be minus 1. The same way, to write this in standard form, we shift the point to this position between 2 and 6. So that will give us 2.63537252226, then times 10. So how many times do we shift the point? So that will be 1 to get 2.6. So that will be minus 1 too. Okay. So lastly, 0.7 in standard form. From this position, we must shift the point to this position to get a number between 1 and 10. So that will be 7. If you shift to that position, that will be 7 times 10. How many times do we shift the point? Just once. So that will be raised power of minus 1. So that's how to express numbers in standard form using shifting of points method. Now, let's do some arithmetics involving standard form. Okay, now simplify the following, leaving your answer in standard form. Open bracket, 4 times 10 raised power of 5, close bracket, multiply by 7 times 10 raised power of 6. And we must leave our answer in standard form. Let's rewrite this. We have 4. Okay, let's open the bracket. Okay, if you open the bracket, we are going to have 4 times 10 raised power of 5 times 7 times 10 raised power of 6. Now, if you rearrange this, we have 4 times 7 times 10 raised power of 5 times 10 raised power of 6, which equals to 28 times 10 raised power of 5 times 10 raised power of 6. Now, let's first of all convert 28 to standard form. Remember, 28 is the same thing as 28.0, isn't it? Now, to convert this to standard form, we must express 28 change the position of this point to another position where we are going to have a number between 1 and 10. So you are going to put it between 2 and 8. That will be 2.8. Then times 10. How many times do we shift the point? Once. So that will be 10 raised to the power of 1, which is the same as times 10. Then times 10 raised to the power of 5 times 10 raised to the power of 6. Now let's look at this. We have the same base being multiplied. According to the laws of indices, when you have the same base being multiplied, what do? We keep the base and add the powers. So that will give us 2.8 times 10 raised to the power of 1 plus 5 plus 6. So that will give us 2.8 times 10 raised to the power of 11. So we have, our answer is in standard form. We have a number between 1 and 10 multiplied by power of 10. So second example, we have 16 times 10 raised to the power of 5 divided by 4 times 10 raised to the power of 7. I can rewrite this as 16 times 10 raised to the power of 5. 10 raised to the power of 5 all over 4 times 10 raised to the power of 7, which is the same thing as 16 divided by 4. That will be 4 times. Now, if you look at this, 10 raised to the power of 5 divided by 10 raised to the power of 7, we have the same base, which is 10, being divided. What do? We keep the base and then we subtract the powers. That will be what? 5 minus 7. So that will give us 4 times 10 raised to the power of 5 minus 7 is minus 2. So you can see, to express numbers in standard form, please take notes. To express numbers in standard form, if the original number is greater than or equals to 10, the power of 10 is positive. That is, when the original number is equals to 10 or greater than 10, the power of 10 is positive. If the original number is less than 1, that is when you are expressing numbers less than 1 in standard form, the power of 10 is negative. Then lastly, if the original number is between 1 and 10, that is equal to 1 or less than 10, that is between that is when the original number takes value 1 to 9, then you multiply the original number by 10 raised to the power of 0. So this brings us to the end of this video. If you enjoy this video, you can like, comment, and also subscribe to this channel. Thank you. See you next time. Bye.